We have come to the end of what's been a brilliant, mind-blowing and exciting season here at the Great Debaters Contest Season 6 with over 300 schools partaking in the debates. As stated, it is better to debate a question without settling it than to settle a question without debating it. Therefore, the contest culminates with two finalists, Light Academy and Nyeri High School, who will engage in their intellectual muscles for the title Great Debaters. The winners will get to walk away with the cash prize of 250,000 shillings and winners' medals.
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 regions have culminated in the grand finale of the Great Debaters Contest. I am your host, Austin Nyumbo.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Welcome to the show. The giants that are battling it out in the finals of the Great Debaters Contest are Nyeri High School, who are undeniably the victors of Central Region, and Light Academy, who have proven time and again that they deserve to be on this stage and have also produced the Great Debaters more than once. We'll have them take to the stage now, and they're debating on whether internet censorship could curb immorality amongst the youth. We'll have them take the floor now. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes to wow us.
The internet is of great power and essence in this 21st century. Benefits that accrue from its usage in our society today are among job opportunities, education courses online, and furthermore. However, we cannot overlook its challenges, and we have to find a way to address them, which is why I, Melchizedek Asuma, a representative of Light Academy, am here to propose the motion that states internet censorship will address immorality among the youth. To begin with, what is internet censorship and what is immorality? Internet censorship can be defined as the control or suppression of what can be accessed, published, or viewed on the internet. Immorality, on the other hand, can be defined as anything that is evil, sinful, or otherwise wrong behavior. To begin with, morality is embedded in the African culture. The African communities were communities that valued highly virtues such as respect, trustworthiness, dignity, respect for the elders, respect for different genders. We have to continue with these virtues so that we can show that we are a sovereign Africa, that all our morals have not been eroded by the onset of European civilization by things such as the internet and the media. To do this, our government has to put its foot down and decide to censor the internet so that our kids, so that our youth, so that everyone in the general population can only access things that are valuable to the Kenyan society right now, and avoid things that may not be valuable, vices, immoral things such as pornography, just to mention a few, burglaries, rape, the list goes on. Internet censorship promotes national security. National security in such a manner that we have homebred terrorists. The internet is a great tool of radicalization. For example, we have the law student at University of Nairobi who participated in the Garissa University attack. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot allow the internet to continue eroding our morals, to allow the youth to access such information and let them get radicalized, and this will help to address immorality. Parents cannot be always there for their kids. It is the duty of parents, it is the duty of teachers, it is the duty of the general society to watch out for kids, to look for what they're doing, to be always at their toes, making sure that what they're doing is right, what they're doing is not wrong. But this is not possible because a parent has to go out and look for food for his children, look for food for his family. A parent also has work to do, and thus he or she cannot be allowed to be the only partner in limiting these kids from accessing dirty sites or things like that. Thank you.
Nyeri High School, you have 3 minutes to make your opening statements.
The needle kills the elephant, not because the needle is larger than the elephant, but because the elephant does not know what ails it. My name is Mike Marty from the school on the hill, once again, Nyeri High School, where the sun will rise and forever set, ready to to vehemently oppose the motion that states internet censorship will address immorality among the youth. A very great definition, but I feel he has left out a great part of this definition. Internet censorship is the control or suppression of what can be accessed, published, or reviewed in the internet, enacted by regulators or on their own initiative. Now, I've talked about the elephant. Our country is the elephant. We have a problem of immorality. How do we address it? Now, the solution they're offering is simply telling us to find another way, yet we know that the needle is our downfall, and we have to curb it out. Now, immorality was there even before the internet came about, isn't it? And even if we are able to completely block the whole internet so that we prevent immorality, we will still not be curbing the problem, because for you to solve an issue, you have to know where it stems from. For you to cure cancer, you don't need antibiotics. For you to cut a tree, you don't need a spade. And for you to curb immorality, you don't need internet censorship. You need educating. You need to show the youth, this is wrong. This affects you in a certain way. We are trying to take the bull by the tail, not by its horns. And we will not be able to curb this issue. We need to curb this issue. Now, I want to add that we are past the age of slavery. According to Article 31D of the new Constitution, every citizen has a right not to have their privacy of their communication infringed. We are in the 21st century. We're in 2016, and yet we want to force issues. We want to infringe the communication, the privacy of the people, instead of trying to solve the issue by educating, by telling the youth, look, this is how you're supposed to go about this certain issue. You do not need to force. And once again, I repeat, we cannot, and I repeat and I emphasize, we will never be able to cut a tree using a spade. And we will never be able to curb the problem of immorality by forcing internet censorship. There's another route. Slavery, not to it. Forcing, not to it. We're in the 31st century. I rest my case. Thank you.
We're ready to hear rebuttals and cross-examinations now. Light Academy, you have the floor. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Nasruddin Abdirashid. Also, as an African, when I hear somebody compare internet censorship to slavery, it feels a bit insulting. First of all, he talked of the right to privacy. Let me ask, and the head of the CAK is here, he can correct me. If the government can block certain sites, how will this infringe on anybody's privacy? Will the government follow up on who tried to access what site? No, that is not censorship. Google it. Also, for you to end youth watching pornography, tell me one of the easiest routes you can use. Block the porn sites. That seems a very good way to start. First of all, we're not saying this is the only way, but it can curb. Also, our country recently has an issue with hacking. For example, the NIC bank was hacked. Its database was hacked. And 3 individuals tried to threaten the bank by saying they will post their information on the internet if they did not give them 5.9 million shillings. Now you might wonder, what will internet censorship do with this? Well, in the internet you can go and you can be easily taught how to hack. Surely this is something we can all agree we do not need in our society. Also, terrorism is also an issue in our country. If you go to Twitter, you go to any social media, you can find websites, you can find the accounts of Al-Qaeda or other terrorist groups. Do we really need them? Do we really need this? Yes, I will interfere in your right to privacy if that means you're going to go to a terrorist site and then come and kill people. That is something we all can agree on, I think. Also, back to the issue that may make some of us blush here, pornography. This is not something I'm proud to say, but Kenya is #1 in Africa in terms of searches of pornography, according to Google. And not just any pornography, homosexual pornography. Is this part of our ideals in this country? no, surely we can all agree we need to block this. We're not saying that we need to stop the people accessing the internet. The internet has a lot of good things, that even the things we have here came from the internet. But the internet has a lot of things. You can go to YouTube and be given tutorials on how to make a bomb. And then you can sneak it here and kill people. Isn't that something we need to stop people accessing? That is common sense. I will expect my fellow opposer to know. Also, let us remember, all rights have limitations. Even your right to life has limitations. Surely we can put limitations on the right to privacy if it affects the rest of the society. This is an African country. We need limitations on certain things. These are not part of our culture. If things interfere with the way, the standards that we have all agreed upon, then surely we can say, no, these are things the youth should not be accessing. The youth access pornography, they can access terrorist sites, they can access the YouTube and learn how to do a lot of bad things. These are things, even logically, we need to stop. And I hope the opposers will realize that. Thank you very much.
We can hear from the opposition. You have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
They call me Maina Chege from the school on the hill, opposing the motion that state internet censorship will reduce or will address immorality among the youth. Now we are talking about immorality and we are totally agreeing. As Africans and as this side, you can easily see that none of us is white. We are all agreeing in terms of immorality, and we completely accept that immorality is an issue in our country and indeed in Africa. We agree on that. And we support you on that in terms of immorality, and we accept that we need to curb immorality. But what they are presenting to us here, they are simply telling us that all the immoral things that are happening in this world and in our country today are being caused by the internet. Now, if you have never had any big lie today, that's the biggest lie you have had. Let me tell you something. That immorality existed even before the invention of the internet. For us who are Christians, we know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. And it's not rocket science that you need to be told that at those times, internet was not there. We all know. And it's something that's not about the internet. They're talking about pornography, and I'm left asking myself, is pornography surely the only immoral thing that we are facing as a country? Is it only the only immoral aspect as a country and as Africa and as a continent we are facing? They need to address these questions because they're moving on that direction. They also talked about rape through the internet, and I'm wondering, how do you even rape through the internet? It's a very serious issue, yes, and it's so sensitive, and it's not, we accept rape is very serious and rape is an immoral issue. We totally agree. However, you cannot rape through the internet. They said that. Now, you can take the cow to a river, but you cannot force it to take water. You can censor the internet for all you like. You can take it away from us, but you will not force us to confine ourselves to what you believe is your moral. Censorship, as it was defined by us, we said it is a group of people who they curb the internet according to their own personal initiative. Now, what they think is immoral, we accept. They can think what something is immoral, but they will force us. They will censor the internet, but will use other means to become immoral. I am simply saying this. Immorality is something personal. You can censor me from accessing any internet, but if I have told myself and I accepted among myself and with myself, and I've told myself that I will not confine myself to a particular belief, that is what I will do, regardless of the amount of electronic that you don't give me. Now, we've talked about Article 31D, and when we fought for this constitution from the second liberation, and even from the Mau Mau people, we fought for these rights. We tirelessly fought for this right. From the first liberation when we wanted to get independence, to the second liberation when Akina Koigi Wamwere and Wangari Maathai, they were put in jail for purposes of putting these laws into our constitution today. And when Africans, fellow Kenyans, stand up and blatantly tell us that we need to infringe these rights, it is an abuse of ourselves. We have sweated, we have toiled, we have poured a lot of blood. It is not time to censor internet. We are in the 21st century. Thank you.
So the the audience has asked very pertinent questions to the two teams on stage. They will be responding shortly. The proposers have been asked, they propose internet censorship. So is that a temporary or a permanent solution to the problem of immorality on the internet? And the opposition have been asked, if they are against censorship, then what other ways can we use to deal with perhaps pornographic sites or otherwise immoral or dangerous content on the internet? They'll be responding shortly. Third proposer, you have the floor. 3 minutes.
I'm Mohammed Abdullahi. Then to answer the question from the gentleman from Nyeri High School, are the solutions we're giving permanent or temporary? I won't term them either. I will term them dynamic. They'll be changing with the needs of the day. The Communications Authority of Kenya will be reviewing them constantly to determine the needs of the country and putting in measures necessary. So they'll be dynamic. They'll be changing with the needs of the Kenyan society. Thank you. Now to the establishment. The people who only know one way to skin a cat, the only people who know that the way to take the bull is by the horns and never the tail. Well, we can also take the bull by the tail. We can also cut a tree with a spade. It only depends with your determination. Are you ready to take that bull by the tail? Are you ready to take that to cut that tree using a spade? Exactly, yes. That is why we are ready to improve morality in this country by internet censoring. We totally agree with them that education is paramount in our efforts to ensure morality is sustained in the Kenyan society. But we also confirm and affirm that internet censorship is a step. It's part of the process. Morality, there are many ways to this venue. I came to this place through University Way. You could come this place through Department of Defense there. So there are many ways to achieving that desired goal. There are many ways to achieving that desired morality. We can do it by education. We will do it by internet censorship. We will do it through the church and religious groups. We will do it through proper parenting. We will do it through the society by improving societal norms. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are not talking about pornography alone, for God's sake. He talked about terrorism. He talked about cyber hacking. He talked about rape. Is that still pornography still? Cyber hacking is pornography? Terrorism is pornography? We do agree that education will be a great contributor to the development of morality. But we also affirm that internet censorship and other things that I've already mentioned will play an important role in restoring the values and what we believe in as an African country. I'll give you a few examples of countries that have internet censorship. Among them are Cuba, China, Iran, North Korea, Turkmenistan, Vietnam. And I'll pick three of the many I've mentioned. I'll pick Cuba, I'll pick Vietnam, and I'll pick Turkmenistan. Remind me the last time you heard of a terrorist attack in those countries. Cuba has rape rates of 0.28% according to Human Rights Watch. North Korea, okay, these facts might be opposed by anyone because the facts that we have about North Korea are scanty. But remind me the last time you heard of a terrorist attack in North Korea. Remind me the last time you heard of a terrorist attack in Vietnam. These people censor their media, censor their internet, and restrict what their citizens can see, can observe, can read through the internet. And that is why they achieve such greatness. Thank you.
Nyeri High School, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, I get what the proposers are doing. They are simply taking the solution and shielding it with a bouquet of flowers, shielding it with a bouquet of thorns, so that they can prevent it from bursting. They are simply saying that a spoon is equal to a spade. They are simply lying to us, in other words. My name is Patrick Monyingi from Nyeri High School, here to oppose the motion that states internet censorship will address immorality among the youth. Well, I begin by addressing the question you asked for us to give other solutions apart from to substitute internet censorship. There is education. You can educate the youth. You can educate them that this is wrong, so do this. You can educate them that this has harmed us. This will harm you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you make an effort of fighting with an alligator, if you make an effort of tussling with an alligator, trust me, the alligator will make an effort of fighting back. Try, when have you seen that the internet has been completely blocked? You block the internet, trust me, all the immorality that is taking place in the internet, the youth will find other platforms to articulate their immorality. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not sweep your house from the outside to the inside, because that is what the proposers are doing. They are sweeping their house from the outside to the inside. You do not go for the stem, you go for the root. We correct our society because that is the root. That is the cause of immorality in our society. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a man of few words. But with these few words, I speak the truth. We all have logic. So let us not make a big argument out of simple logic. Internet censorship will not address immorality amongst the youth. Thank you.
We'll hear final submissions now. Light Academy, you have 1 minute.
I'm sure about this. They speak as much truth as Julius Iscariot. The internet is of great essence and power in this 21st century. The opportunities that come with it cannot be overlooked. E-commerce, education, it has expanded our horizons. We know about cultures. We know about people who we have never visited their countries, and we appreciate diversity. But at the same time, we cannot blind our eyes and overlook the challenges that come with the internet. We do agree that education, proper parenting, religious societies will contribute to our path to morality in the Kenyan society. But we also firmly propose internet censorship as one of the most dynamic solutions to the problem that we face. Let's protect our children. Let's protect our future. Let's protect this country.
Nyeri High School, you have 1 minute for your final statement as well.
I know the proposers were expecting us to agree with them just because they agreed with us on terms of education, but sorry to disappoint you, we are not agreeing with you in terms of internet censorship as a way of addressing morality. If the people of Cuba decide to address their moral issues, if the people of Cuba are moral, what is the direct connection between the people of Cuba being moral and their internet being censored? There is no direct connection. Don't stand here and lie to us that just because the internet has been censored in Cuba, the people are moral. It is a lie. And a lie is a lie. On the other front, we are giving solutions that are update. We are giving the right solutions that will not hurt anyone. We are telling you, we will talk to religious leaders to talk to our youth and tell them the need of being morals. We are telling you that we'll tell our parents to have good parental care of our children and they will be moral from their young age. Internet censorship is trying to cut the tree from the top and not from the bottom. It is not even a way that can enable us to solve immorality. We have fought for these rights for a very long time. It is now a time to ensure that we completely and fully enjoy them like we anticipated. Thank you.
One of the things that I like about Light Academy is there is logic and flow, in your arguments. Right from the first speaker, of course, you struggled a lot with stage fright. I don't know what was happening, whether it was the heat or, just the fact that this was the final, debate. But you did well and you were able to get over it and move past that. And let me just encourage you that even the best speakers at some point deal with stage fright. The most important thing is, are you able to get over that and still carry on? And I think you did very, very well. Nasruddin, great in cross-examination. I think that's your strength. You do a very good job in that. You listen to what the opponents are saying, and when you come on, you have questions. Some, of course, questions that you're not expecting answers, but just food for thought. For the rest of us. Mohammed, good response to the questions. I liked the response to the question and I like the way you got out of it, that these solutions or these recommendations are supposed to be dynamic, that they change with the times and they change with whatever it is that's happening and what needs to be regulated. All the best to the 6 gentlemen on stage.
Nyeri High School. Mike, I think for you, you came out strongly and stood out to say that you have an alternative, and that was education. That came across with Mina and Patrick as well. And your angle was education, education, education. For me, I felt like you put us in a situation of the Garden of Eden, where I have to choose between this tree of life and the other one, I thought the opponents would have actually cross-examined that, but I think they let you go at some point. Now, Mina, when you came and cross-examined a student, I think Mohammed hammered you very much, but I want to appreciate your passion. I think you're very passionate and you really come out strong in your team. The alternative of education, I think you would have come across to give us more practical examples where maybe these situations have worked, and that would have given you extra marks. But however, I want to appreciate the 2 teams. You have done a great job. This was justice to the motion, and you can add more on what we are giving you. All the best to the 2 teams.
The good thing about debate, I always say, is not to provide, most of the time it does not provide solutions. It only triggers a conversation, so that this conversation, we shall take them to our schools, we shall continue these conversations, even in our homes, possibly. You are 6 well-read gentlemen, and I believe that it does not end at the Great Debaters platform. There's a lot that you can do in your own capacity as an individual, back at school, and even when you have a family, because I believe all of us will have a family one time or the other. I wish to end with my good friend and writer, Chinua Achebe. In The Hour of God, he makes a very interesting statement. And one old man advises the younger generation, and he tells them, if you don't say yes to the white man today, you will cry, I wish I knew tomorrow. Very interesting statement. And I want to replace white man here with knowledge. If you don't say yes to knowledge today, you will cry, I wish I knew tomorrow. We need to use the internet with a lot of caution, so that we do not end up crying maybe later on in life. All right, so to the 2 teams, I think it was a well-done job.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're dying to know who won, but you'll have to wait till tomorrow.
That's right, we're leaving you on a cliffhanger today, but be sure to tune in tomorrow to find out who the champions of the Great Debaters 2016 are. We'll have award ceremonies as well, and some speeches by very prominent members of society.
Engage us on social media at Great Debaters EA for Twitter and all our other social media platforms. Keep the conversation going, and please tune in tomorrow.
Can't wait to see your predictions online. Keep watching.